Hello and welcome to West Wales and another video in my ongoing series to spin all the rare breed sheep of the UK. And in today's video I've got this lovely bat of Dorset Horn, and this was gifted to me by Deb, so thank you very much, Deb. I have been really savouring spinning this. It's been prepared in a bat, so it is ideal for long draw. Long draw is not my default spin, but I'm going to give it a go. And I'm just going to simply split it in half. So I do 2 singles and ply it together. Now, Dorset Horn is a down breed, which means that it's got quite a short staple length. So let's just pull a bit of this out. I mean, actually, that's not desperately short. That is a little bit longer than I thought maybe it was going to be. But it's got plenty of crimp. So you can see it's very springy and fluffy, and I would say this is quite typical of the breed, having done a little bit of research. I've never spun this before, so I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to pop outside with the wheel and we're going to do some spinning in the garden, and I will give you a bit of a voiceover on the history of the breed and a little bit about the breed as I'm spinning. So I'm going to set up outside and start spinning this. And what I will do as I'm spinning, then I will just give you a little bit of the breed history and how I'm finding it to spin. Okay, so let's pop outside. Right, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to manage this fibre. I might split it down again, just so I've not got quite so much fibre in my hand at once. And let's get this started. Oh, take my clog off. I'm going to need a bit more tension on, I think. I've just oiled this wheel, so she's running really quite freely. That's too much tension. I think that's probably a little bit too much tension still, but we'll see. Let's just spin a little bit and let's see what the tension's like. Yeah, I'm going to put a little less on, I think. Well, it's beautifully prepared. Deb was really worried because she said it was really full of VM, but I think it's lovely. And it'll be my spinning that'll be at fault rather than the preparation. Right, let's have a little look at that. A bit too fierce. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a little bit more. Oopsie. And didn't get that quite right, did I? Oh. Okay, let's see. I think we're nearly there on the tension. Don't need to treadle very fast. I've also just adjusted the drive band, just shortened it a little bit. So I might just do that. Oh yeah, that's a bit better. Let's just yeah, I think that's there or thereabouts. I'm just going to put a little tiny little bit more tension on just to get it going in a little faster. And actually, having slackened off that drive band, I'm going to tighten it up again. Well, I have to say, this is spinning really beautifully. That's, I say, me doing that. That's me rather than the actual bat. That's me just letting it get a bit too thin. If you're a new hand spinner, there are a few terms I've been using that I just want to explain. And one of the terms I used was woolen spun. I said, because this is a bat, I'm going to do long draw, which is a woolen spun yarn. And what do we mean by a woolen spun yarn? Well, they're light and fluffy and the type of yarn that you're going to use for a jumper or a hat, something that you want to spring back. And the bat has been prepared by carding it, which means that the fibres are slightly out of alignment. So if you have a combed top, then all the fibres are in alignment, they're in a straight line, and you would spin that in a worsted style, and you'd smooth down the fibres and you'd create quite a dense yarn, and generally you're using that where you want stitch definition, something like socks, or if you're doing cable. So they're quite different techniques. I'm attempting to show you how I do long draw. As I've said, it is not my default spin. Another term I threw in there was VM, which stands for vegetative matter. And that's bits of grass, bits of hay, bits of twig that stays in the prepared fleece. So sheep have a habit of getting themselves trapped in hedges, or maybe if they're inside, they're lying on bedding and their coats pick up whatever it is that happens to be in the vicinity. If you're working with raw fleece and you're preparing yourself for spinning, then you really do want to look for something that's not got an awful lot of VM in it. It will save you hours and hours of work. Some fibre farmers, and particularly farmers that are specialising in creating fibre for hand spinners, will coat their sheep. And what that means is they put little jackets on them, so little cotton jackets that just stops the sheep from picking up all the kind of debris that's kind of knocking about in fields and hedges. It also can prevent sun damage that you can get on some tips. Particularly on Shetlands, they can get sun damage and wind damage on the tips of their fleeces, which, although you can certainly spin it, it's much preferable not to have that damage. So that is something to look out for. And again, it depends how precious the garment you're going to make is going to be. If you're just spinning for a bit of practice, then it's probably not as important. Having said that, I've bought plenty of mill prepared fleece that's got way too much VM in it. So don't think because you're preparing it yourself, you're not going to do a good job. it's just something as hand spinners we learn to live with, and you get to a point where you can actually pick the VM out even as you're spinning. Obviously you want to try and get to a point before you're spinning that it doesn't have any VM in it, but that's not always possible. I often feel that fibre tells you how it wants to be spun and what it wants to be used for. As I was working with it, I decided that I wasn't going to spin it all because I wanted to save it to dye and blend to make a sock yarn. It was so bouncy and so elastic. I felt that it would really make an excellent sock yarn. Now for a little breed history. As you might imagine, the Dorset Horn comes from the county of Dorset, and it has horns. Both the rams and the ewes have horns. If you don't live in the UK, you might be unaware of where Dorset is. Dorset is in the southwest of England, and it's part of the ancient Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Wessex. You also might have heard of the term Wessex in Far From the Madding Crowd, and quite often when people say Wessex, they sort of mean Dorset. The Dorset Horn is one of the oldest breeds in the UK, and they suspect that it goes back to the Roman period. However, it is recorded as a distinct breed from about the 1700s. The breed was then developed into the Dorset Pole, which, as you might guess, has no horns. And the Dorset Pole really became much more popular because without those horns, it's a little bit easier for farmers to handle. And if they're working with animals without horns, they're not worrying that they're going to get injured. So therefore, it has become one of the rarer breeds as people favoured the pole breed. Just to be really confusing, there is another sheep from Dorset that has horns. The Portland. It is a smaller sheep and it is very much prized for its meat over its fibre. And I have to, of course, mention the Dorset Down. Again, another sheep from Dorset and another down sheep. And probably we'll be spinning that at some point on the channel. So according to the Breed Society standards, the fleece should be white, crisp and free from Kemp, and certainly that was the case with this. The micron count is between 27 and 33 microns. Just for reference, your merino is going to be about 18 microns. And then the staple length is between 3 and 4 inches. And I would say this example was about 4 inches and it's spinning beautifully. And because it's a down breed, it's got lots of crimp and it's really springy, and that's going to make it excellent for things like socks. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the different breeds, then I will link to the book that I always refer to in these cases, In Sheep's Clothing, A Hand Spinner's Guide to Wool. There's also the Rare Breed Survival Trust, and they have a section about sheep. And of course, there is the Breed Society, and most sheep in the UK do have a breed society, and they'll be able to tell you the breed standards and put you in contact with local breeders who, if you're lucky, might well be able to provide you with a fleece. Now, because I'm doing this as a sample and I want to actually get this video out in some kind of timely fashion, then I actually just went ahead and I applied this. It is normally my habit to let my spinning sit for a day before I apply it. Definitely the jury is out on whether that is a good or a bad thing to do. It's just always been my habit. Then wind it on to the niddy noddy, and I'm going to wet finish this. If you want to see a detailed video on how to actually use a niddy noddy, then I have one of those and I will link it in the description below. So this is where your scrap yarn comes in really handy, and I always put 8 ties on my skeins just so that they don't get tangled up when they're going through the finishing process. The jury is definitely out on whether you actually need to put 8 on or whether 4's enough, and as with most things, do your own experiments, do what works for you. But as I say, it is always my habit to do 8 ties, so you know, I'm doing 8 ties. But as I said, come to your own conclusions. There are no spinning police. Always bear that in mind. Then into a bowl of warm water for 20 minutes to half an hour, just to wet finish it. So my yarn has been in here for 20 minutes and I can already see that it's nicely fluffed up. So I'm just going to take it out, and it's not hot water. Give it a bit of a squeeze out. Then I'm going to give it 4 snaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let it hang up and dry. And it's already looking really good. So we'll come back to this when it's dry. So by the magic of editing, we have a little sample, and it's beautifully soft and fluffy. And although it is definitely classed as a medium fibre, I think it's got a real, a real nice soft feel to it. But I do want to blend it, so I've got, got a nice lot left that I'm going to dye and I'm going to blend. But I will also knit this up so you can see what it looks like knitted up. But you can see what a beautifully balanced yarn that is. I'm really pleased with that spin. As I say, really long draw, not my default spin at all, but this made it easy. This made me look okay at long draw, which I'm not. Anyway, so I'm going to knit this up and I will drop in what it looks like knitted up. So before I show you the knitted sample, I've got a thank you. So thank you to all the channel members who support me with that little monthly fee that you pay each month. Members get early access to all the videos, so they get access 2 or 3 days before everybody else. And it makes a huge difference. It really does. It means that I'm not worrying about spending my time making the videos when maybe I should be doing something else. Anyway, right. So going to knit that up and drop it in at the end. See you in a moment by the magic of editing. So here's my knitted up sample, and it's got so much bounce. It's really lovely. I'm just debating whether I'd actually wear this next to the skin. I mean, I'd wear it as socks, it'd be absolutely fine. I think if you were going to have it maybe next to your neck, so in a cardigan or jumper, I think I'd want to blend it with something. It was a lovely spin, really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to dyeing it and blending it and spinning it into something else. So thank you again to Deb, and thank you for watching.